We hear tales about people who make a big leap despite having had a patchy start. We applaud them and marvel at their genius and dedication. Well, today we have one such individual to grace us with his knowledge and insight. The gentleman in question is Mr. Ameet Pahilani, the swashbuckling CEO of the hospitality company that is a chocolate's dream come true, Cafe Chocolate. Mr. Pahilani tasted success at the tender age of 25, when he turned Cadbury around to a huge success. Today, his company, Cafe Chocolate, has outlets spanning the length and breadth of India and has legions of loyal patrons that swear by the delicious desserts, drinks and food. He follows two principles: quality products and customer care. Currently, he owns 95 outlets in 32 different cities of India. His dream is to take Cafe Chocolate on global frontier. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming on the stage the entrepreneur that truly represents the potential of the Indian youth, Mr. Ameet Pahilani. I request you, sir, to kindly take the stage.
Is that the stage?
Yes.
I think that's good enough. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
To start with, I feel very small here in front of all these professors out here. You know, I mean, they're so much more educated, so much more enlightened. So the talk is directed towards you guys. So I think maybe I can teach a few things to you guys and not to these esteemed professors that are here. And thank you to Mr. Jai Singh for inviting me. It's a pleasure to come here. And the first thing that strikes me when I come here is the respect that people have at the institute. Just by the first greet that I get here, that's nice. Certain things are not in the books, you know. So those are the things you grow up learning from your parents and from your teachers. So that is first thing that I always notice here. So that's really great. Okay, now talking about Cafe Chocolate. I don't know, I guess you guys are the first year students here, right?
Yes, sir.
So I guess most of you are not from Pune.
No, sir.
No, right? So where are you from? I mean, just randomly I would like to know. Go ahead.
From Nagpur.
And
From Ghaziabad.
I'm sure Nagpur you've had our product.
Yes.
You better, huh? You don't have a choice. Right?
From Jodhpur, Rajasthan.
Right.
And Gujarat.
Jaipur, Rajasthan.
From Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh.
Great. I mean, so we have people from across India coming here. So it's amazing, Mr. Jai Singh, that you have created an institute which can give bright futures to kids out here, you know. So talking about Cafe Chocolate. So right now we have 80 full-fledged outlets and 40 kiosks. So that makes it 120 outlets. And we are present across 29 cities in India. How did this happen? I mean, so I would like to talk in two parts out here. One is a little about the journey, how it happened. Because I remember when, even now I'm a kid, you know. There's always a kid in us. You always like to hear, you know, how it happened, you know. How it is made, how it happened and all those things. There's a curiosity. So even though it gets a little repetitive for me to talk about how it happened, but I think I'll owe it to you guys for you all to answer your curiosity a little bit, how did it happen. So I would say from 6 lakhs to 23 crores. That is what I started my business with. I started my business with 6 lakhs in 2008 and the last valuation of the business was 23 crores. Not a lot of people would give you figures, but I think figures give it more clarity rather than fundas which are there, you know, on high street, which goes over my head. So I would like to keep it simple for you guys to understand. So how did it happen? So it started. I mean, just like you guys, I'm from Pune. So as you guys might have realized, coming, you guys wherever you guys come from, coming to a new city is always a challenge. So for me, it was not the case. I lived in Pune. I studied here, whatever little I studied here. So it was very easy going. In India, kids are very pampered. We get options of what food we want to eat. When mom cooks something, we say we don't like this, and mom is happy to cook again. And we are so pampered. But I'm sure you guys will realize that once you have come here, वो एक सब्जी का भी option कोई दे दे तो you are more than happy now to accept it, right? So same way, even I was like one of you guys. I was in Wadia College, very naughty. Used to hardly study. That doesn't mean you guys shouldn't, huh? So don't take me wrong. So I always used to see that there was a time in India where when a kid was naughty, उसको hostel भेज दो बोलते थे. Have you all experienced that? Have you heard that? पहले एक टाइम था उसको hostel भेज दो. As if that's a magic. Hostel जाएगा तो बहुत सुधर के आ जाएगा. So anyways, जैसे ही अपना इंडिया डेवलप होते रहा है with time, I think our parents have also developed. अभी कोई नॉटी होता है तो बोलते हैं इसको अब्रॉड भेज दो, right? So even though I was, as I said, I did not have great marks to show for, in my, I think I was in F5 BCom doing my commerce when my parents said, let him go abroad. And what led to that, So my parents, they were very relaxed, very chilled out. Jo karna hai karo. So I was lucky in that way. They were pretty cool. But even cool parents, they have their deadline hoti hai. So I think once there were these policemen who had come to my house to arrest me. Because during college days, I'm sure, especially with guys, you'll have this, you want to be friends with the bhais of the college. Right? That happens, especially in 11th, 12th. That happens a lot. So you'll see, you feel very cool, to hang around with, the so-called bhais of the college. Same thing. And so when your parents tell you at that time, you think, oh, they don't know anything, they are not cool, But actually they know more than you. Because with time you'll realize that. So anyways, there were these policemen at my house, and I was like, wow. And तो उसके पहले क्या, you go late night, different girls will call at home, and my parents didn't mind, they were fine, okay, they're friends, and so on and so on. But with this police thing, I think my cool parents, they lost their cool, and I think you all must really appreciate what your parents have done, because it's not easy, for them to spend the kind of money that they spend and send you guys out here. So yeah, you must always have that in your heart. So whatever you do here, have your fun, whatever. Keep that in mind that before you leave, you must try to succeed. You must try to be excellent in whatever you're doing. Anyways, going to UK, as you guys have come from your respective cities out here, so many times you all already have friends here who are already here, or people from your own town who are here, or you have relatives. And there are some people who don't know anybody, they just come here and they don't know anybody from day one. And so I was in that category. There was nobody I knew over there, and this was the first time I was going out of India. So all alone, but again excited. So the first few months went smooth, as my parents used to send me the money, and I said, wow, this is even better, because now I don't have to report to them, what is happening. And the parties went on, and obviously I was studying as well. But I think after 4 months or so, it happened that we had some financial problems back home, and I don't know, it just hit me that I don't want to put that burden on my parents of sending that money abroad, because I just felt that is not fair on them. Um, so, so there was this time I did not have money even to buy myself a lunch. So how do I continue my education, right? I mean, so I tried to balance it, trying to work and study. You know, in UK you're allowed to work for only 20 hours a week, right? But you know, as Indians, you know, they're jugadus. They care very little about rules, you know. That's in our blood, I think. So that was not the issue. So really tried to make it happen, but I couldn't. You know, it came to a point where either I was not able to pay my house rent, or I was not able to pay for my food, or obviously the college fees, you know. So eventually I couldn't continue my education, and I decided to work full time. So I started working at a Chinese bakery firm as a bookkeeper, right? So that is where, you know, जो थोड़ी बहुत पढ़ाई की थी, I think it helped. So, but I remember, you know, those 2 years that I was working, I was just, I mean, imagine you guys coming here. You have come here for education. You have left your families, you have left your friends, you have left your comfort zone. All right, it is good, you know. I mean, you have the freedom that you don't have it there. There are a lot of other things. But eventually, when you go from here, you want to finish your education and you want to achieve something. So I felt at that point it was not happening, you know. And so, you know, when things are not going well, you get, you know, things can get worse from there. So again, not proud, but I was into drugs as well. I'm telling you guys all these things so that, you know, you all can maybe, you know, learn from my mistakes and not do it yourself. So I was into drugs for a while over there because I was depressed in myself. You know, that I have not come here to just work for whatever hours and earn enough just to be able to feed myself and survive. Because that is not what I was brought up learning. You know, I mean, I was brought up with the thing that, okay, you know, you always have to make it big. You know, don't be satisfied with small. So I have big ambitions, and generally we Indians are, you know, we have that entrepreneurial thing in our head. You know, so same thing with me. You know. So I remember I found myself in my house in UK at that time, crying like a baby, you know, in the steps. And I was like, what's happened, you know? So I was pretty depressed that it has come to a point I'm just not doing anything, you know. And I started missing home. And I think for the first time I realized that how does it feel to be a person of somebody who has not a lot of means. We see when we go to a restaurant, we see a waiter here. We have no feelings for the waiter here, right? And over there, that is what I felt like. You know, I felt like being in a waiter's shoes, or being in shoes of somebody who's not doing well for himself. And that's how I think 80% of our India is living. And that moment, I think, gave me the realization of respecting each and every human being. Because I myself was facing that. Not knowing where the next meal will come from, not knowing what the future holds, not knowing, I mean, you know, there are so many insecurities. But I always believe that what makes a man, you know, you guys must have heard, you know, you guys are blessed to be born as humans, you know. So what is so amazing about us, you know? I think any animal is stronger than us, you know. So what is it that makes us, you know, I think it's our head that makes us so great, you know. And if that is applied in the right way and the right attitude, I think it can take us to places where we ourselves can't imagine. So I remember making a promise to myself that no matter what, I'm going to correct this thing and I'm going to try and make it happen. And so there was a lucky break that happened for me. Obviously, I quit all the wrong stuff that I was into. It's always difficult. It's easy to get into these things, but it's very difficult to get out of these things. So never get into that. That is the first thing I would like to tell you guys. Yeah. So I remember there was the bakery company that I was working in. I'll tell you a big there was a big moment in my life at that time. So this Chinese bakery is where I used to work. So we used to make bakery products. Just like out here you would have any bakery which makes cakes and pastries and XYZ. So any manufacturer needs labels, right? You need a label to put it on your product. Anyway, you guys are missing what I'm trying to say, please ask me, right? So there was this gentleman who used to come to my boss at that time and who was working for this label manufacturing company. And since my company was already running, we already had a supplier who was already supplying us with those same labels. But this gentleman, he was supplying at a better price, right? So, but still my boss wouldn't take it because any new label that needs to be made, uska mold banta hai, and that mold costs. There's a one-time cost to it. So my boss said, you know why, and the cost was around £2,500, around 2 lakhs for the mold, which is not a big deal, but still there was a cost. So my boss would tell him that, so the company, label company, where this old salesman used to come from, unka policy tha that mold ka paisa customer will pay. And customer who was my boss, he said, yeah, you need me, I already have a supplier. You need me, so why do I pay for the mold? So there was no solution coming out of it. This label guy would come every time, he would pitch it to my boss, and my boss would say no, you know, I mean, somehow it wouldn't happen. So I was feeling bad for the old man because he would come every time, he would try and pitch it to my boss, and it just wouldn't happen. So I suggested to him that your label is cheaper than the existing vendor, let's say by 10%. So why don't you pitch it to my boss that I will supply you the goods at the same price of what you're already buying till the time I cover my mold charges for the company. Now any manufacturer will tell you they want at least 2 suppliers, even if it is at the same price, because if one supplier fails you, your production doesn't stop. So anyways, my boss agreed and he went back to his boss, the label guy, and so at his sales review meeting, the gentleman CEO asked him, what happened, how come you cracked the deal? So he told him, you know, there was an Indian guy over there who helped me with it, you know. So that CEO, he happened to be a Japanese, he called me and he offered me 4 times the salary of what I was getting at that time. But I was fond of my boss where I was working, and he did not want me to leave, but he couldn't afford to pay me what the other guy was offering. So I had offered him a business proposal, which I will not get into right now, which he did not want to do it with me, because you know, a kid, 20-year-old, 21-year-old kid tells me to put in money, you know, nobody is going to put in for you. So I told him, you know, you put that money for me. If we don't do well, I will pay you back by my salary and I will not leave. But if it does well, we do 50%. So he put in the money, and he invested £9,000. That was around 8 lakhs in today's money. And in 40 days time, we made a profit of 10 lakhs, right? So I had not saved up that much money in all of 3 years that I was working there. And in 1 month, I had earned that much money. So that was a big thing that happened. So I'll just to tell you guys exactly what we imported Chinese products from China and supplied to the Chinese bakeries over there. Going from there, I remember during my struggling days in UK, you know, I used to visit this, you know, there's a Sarvana Bhavan, Chennai mein ek chain hai, South India. Is anybody from South India here? Do you know Sarvana Bhavan? Right. So Sarvana Bhavan opened up their restaurant in London at that time, and during my bad days, I used to clean toilets over there, and they used to pay me £20 for 4 hours of cleaning toilets. And I remember, so after my business picked up, it really picked up very well, and I was making very good money. And one day I went to eat at Sarvana Bhavan, and I tipped the waiter £20. So that was the money that I used to make for cleaning toilets for 4 hours, right? And somewhere I felt, dude, I have made it, you know, there's something that I've done here, I'm happy about it. But you will, you know, going abroad sounds very exciting, but it is not easy. You know, I mean, you are away from your family, you are away from your culture, you are away from your friends. No matter how many friends you meet in life, you know, your old friends are old friends. You know, nobody can replace them. So I started feeling that I want to come back to India. You know, and I had that confidence that if I can do it in UK, being a foreign country where I have no contacts, why can I not do it in my own country? And I was doing really well at that time in business, and it was not a very smart decision to come back. You know, when you're making good money, you know. But I think I've always been a little crazy, so I think that's why I was sent there to start with. So, anyways, I came back here and I started looking for different businesses. India is a very good market for business, but it's not an easy place to do business as well, you know, because I mean, out here, if I was to supply this gentleman with my, let's say I'm a cloth manufacturer, and I supply him a piece of suit, you know, just to get my money back, I will have to call him for 2 months. Sir, please de do. Sir, please de do. As if I have to beg for my money. It's a fact in India, right? So it's not an easy environment where I think that is what you guys need to bring in change. You know, when you guys go on to be wherever you all will be, I'm sure you all will do well, is to be very ethical. You know, I feel that a lot of times we forget that how important it is, because if you are ethical in your working, eventually in your business you are going to get vendors who are ethical with you, right? So, you know, doing something wrong might give you a gain in the short run, or you might feel that, okay, you know, you are doing what you need to do for survival. But with my experience, I can tell you that doing the right thing, even though it might sacrifice you that short-term gain, and believe me, we have that sense in ourselves to know what is right, what is wrong. So always be ethical. So anyways, when I came back, wasn't easy again, and I was like, and people start questioning you. You know, you're so dumb. You know, you were doing well in UK. You know, why would you want to come back and whatever. You know, when things are going well, everybody praises you, even if you're stupid. And when things are not doing well, even if you might be the smartest person on this earth, you know, but they will make you look stupid. So, anyways, after I tried a few ventures here and there, it did not work out. Then one day, one of my friend, he took me to a roadside joint where they used to sell some chocolate shake, you know. And I used to not like chocolates at all at that time. So I just couldn't even eat one spoon of it. I said, I don't want it. And the same product, which I said I don't want it, I've sold more than 1 crore pieces of the same, and I have made millions out of it, right? So again, not necessary that I should like what I sell, but that doesn't mean, you know, I sell something which is not good. You know, tastes are different. So the lesson here is that not necessarily what you are selling is what you should like, right? As long as you are selling something that you feel the customers will accept in the market. So the gentleman who was running the stall, I offered to buy him out, and so whatever money I had got from UK, I bought him over for 75 lakhs. Now I said, you know, in the beginning I said I started with 6 lakhs, and how did it come? Because my family gave me 6 lakhs when I went from here to UK, right? So when I came back with that much money to. So I bought his business over, and again my family, everybody was against it. You know, you're taking too much of a risk, because that business, what was there, it was into losses of 5 lakhs a month, right? Anyways, I just felt that it's right. I felt I could make it big. Took over the business, did some basic things right. That is what, you know, when I went to UK, that's what I learned. You know, I mean, when you come out of your comfort zone, just like you guys have come here, you will learn so much, not just being in the classroom, just by life, you know, because life will teach you a lot more than what you learned in your hometown. So you will see that the 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever time that you spend here, and when you go back and if you reflect upon it, you will realize that you guys have learned so much and matured so much during this time. So I think that learning which I got from working in UK, it really helped me, which I put into my new business. With time, we started a few outlets. Again, I will not get into too much detail because I think it's going to be too long. So we opened a few outlets in Pune. And Pune, what happens is just like you guys have come from across India. So let's say you are studying in this college and there is a joint which is famous in Pune. You know. I'm sure there must be some joints that you guys visit. You know, maybe it's too early, but I think after 6 months you all would have your favorite joints. You know, that I like to have my tea over there. Guys end up smoking somewhere else, and you know, whatever. Girls might like a coffee somewhere. So just like that, our product started to become famous. Now the advantage being in Pune was that Pune is the only city, or one of the only cities in India, where people come from across India to study here, right? Just like you guys have come. And most of you guys, when you finish your education, some of you guys will stay back, right? May end up working here. Some of you guys will go back to your hometown. Some of you guys might go to Bombay or somewhere else, you know, for work. So basically, when you guys come here and then you guys go back to wherever. So if you are a fan of a brand here, you go back and you take that brand back in your mind. So when you know Cafe Chocolate out here, you would want to maybe open a Cafe Chocolate franchise in your hometown. Or even if you don't open, if somebody else opens, oh, you know, I love this product. You know, it's from Pune. You know, you will go and eat it, right? At the same time, you might bring 10 more people. Oh, it's an awesome product. You know, you will boast about it. So what does that do? What did that do to us was, it made our brand known very fast in a lot of different parts of India. Otherwise, to create awareness in different parts of India, I mean, Nagpur being a case, you know, I mean, it costs a lot to create brand awareness. So that was the advantage that we got being from Pune, that we spread very fast in people's mind. And you know, people at your age, you know, you get very passionate about whatever, you know, if you support a team, you're so passionate that you will end up abusing each other, right? So I think our passion of doing things and our customers mostly at that time were students who are also like, generally at that age you're very passionate. So that made our brand very well known, very fast. And with time we opened outlets, we realized what the biggest, even if you guys tomorrow were to open a food business, you know, I would just like to give a small understanding of how can one make it, you know, from one outlet to a big whatever. So the key points that you must look at is, try to establish a food joint, whatever it may be, wherever it may be, whatever food that you serve, you know. So you try and establish one joint wherever it is. Try to make sure that you are serving hygienic food, quality food. Now the thing is that any business has a few hours of business. आप कोई भी like we are into ice cream industry. Generally people don't eat ice cream at 10 in the morning, right? Or 5. Generally it's in the night time, between 8 to 12. So you have 4 hours of business with you. Now in that 4 hours, you know, how you have to maximize, whichever customer comes to you, he must get the product and he must get it fast. So consistent product is very important, and how do you serve quickly? That is again very important. How do you make that happen now? Now the thing is that consistency will only come, obviously at the one store level, you can't bring in big machineries. But keep in mind that it will always come from automation. And automation could be as small as, have you all guys been to Starbucks?
Yes, sir.
right? So if you go there, if you see next time when they make your coffee, you will see the way they add the sugar, you know. They don't take a spoon and add sugar into it. They have a pump, one press, and there's 5 grams of sugar that goes in, or 2 pumps, that 10 grams of sugar that goes in. So what is actually that doing? There's no wastage because there's no spill around, right? The consistency will be maintained because you know one pump is 5 grams. Even a layman who does not understand food, उसको आप बोलोगे आपके staff को यार एक ही pump मारना, he will understand, right? Even in the house when you make food, you know, sometimes salt कम है, salt ज़्यादा है. That cannot work in restaurant. That shouldn't, because that is what brings industries down. Inconsistent food. So consistency, but consistency will be achieved by, it could be small, simple, but it is important to have automation. What does that do is, or when you go to a Subway, you will see they have these squeezies where they'll put mayonnaise and sauces and all that. What does that do? It does 2 things. One is, during rush hours, it's so quick. It does not spill, so you don't need somebody to come and clean it, right? Secondly, it's more consistent, right? So consistent of quality and speed, these are the most 2 important things in food. And nowadays, if you see today's India, it is every sector is getting organized. So when I say organized, I mean under some brand. So every sector is getting organized. I mean, किसने सोचा था वड़ा पाव का ही brand होगा? But there are brands with vada pav also. There is Goli Vada Pav, there is Jumbo King, right? Who thought कि भेलपुरी का भी brand होगा? There is Kalyan Bhel and there are few others, right? Every product is getting organized. Why? Simply because today's customer is willing to pay a few extra bucks for a brand which they can trust for hygiene and quality, right? So anything that you can think of, you can turn it into a brand. Anything. I mean, it could be as small as anything. It could be big, whatever. You can turn it into a brand. So that's the kind of market opportunity that lies out there. How do you make it big? Just like I said, you make one outlet, you get your systems right, you get your processes right, that it is idiot proof. When I say idiot proof, the staff that you're going to hire, they are not going to be MBA graduates, right? They're going to be laymans, you know. They're not going to be very smart. And if you are going to think of opening 100 outlets, you know, you need to have systems in place which any Tom, Dick, Harry can come and still your product will come out as it would come out if an experienced chef is doing it. You know, once you have that in place, now I look for expansion. What is expansion? Lot of times, you know, have you ever thought कि यार mom जो पराठे बनाती है is so amazing है, mom आप पराठे का restaurant क्यों नहीं डाल देते, right? Or you know, mom might be making a mithai, yaar, wow, this is so amazing. So I will just give you a little difference in house food and restaurant. What is the difference in a QSR model? So for example, my mom makes best gulab jamun, right? Or your mom. You know, there's a joke as well. My mom drinks tea so hot that, you know, she just pours it and drinks it and so and forth and whatever. So now the thing is that घर के food का क्या होता है? आप बनता है आप तभी खा लेते हो. Once you are in the industry, the challenge is कि mom का food जो आज इधर बना है, will it after a month in a city like Nagpur or Aurangabad, would it taste the same? It will not, right? So that's the challenge with mom's food. And how do you overcome that? You know, that is the biggest challenge of trying to make money out of food business. So my chocolate shake, which tastes whatever it tastes in Pune or in my factory or in Chennai, it has to taste the same, right? So I have to see how do I make that happen, right? You have to have knowledge of your industry, you have to have knowledge of your food. I am not from food industry at all, but once you get into something and if you have passion, you will eventually get to know more and more things every day, and within no time you will feel that okay, you know so much. How is the product going to be delivered? So मैंने decide कर लिया है मेरे को chocolate shake का chain खोलना है, and मेरे पास कोई नागपुर से आ गया है मेरे को franchise दे दो. That's how it was. Franchise तो दे दिया, I took the franchise money. Product भी तो देना है ना उसको. Now how do I give the product? Now we are into a product of ice creams, right? Now everybody asks me, how do you send ice creams to Chennai, Calcutta, Chhattisgarh? How do you do it? And how we do it is that, so let's say one of my franchisee in Nagpur orders for 4 sets of ice cream boxes. Do you think it's possible for me to send a cold vehicle for 4 boxes of ice cream to Nagpur? It's not possible. So how do I, even if I might have the best product, I might have a very good franchisee model, but it is not possible for me to expand my business. Why? Because there is no system where I can, in the right can make the right economic sense of sending 4 packs of ice cream from here to there. Logistics, which is the most key aspect of business. So we came up with this special packaging in dry ice, and we started sending by trains and buses. And now I can send even 1 kg of ice cream to you, and still it is affordable for me to send it to you. So somebody might get excited and start a food chain and wow, I'm going to give away franchise, I'm going to do this. But if you don't answer the basics right, how the quality remains consistent across India, how is the logistics going to be taken care of? These things are very, very basic to any food business. So you might have a very successful outlet. It is very important. Was one successful outlet, all the customers who are coming there, in India there's a lot of money with people, but they don't have business ideas. What do we do with the money? There are a lot of people. But if you can prove a successful model, there will be a lot of people who will chase you. Okay, I want to invest with you. How many people want to open a Subway franchisee? How many people? There are so many people, Arey, mujhe kholna hai, idhar kholna hai, meri city mein lana hai. You have that excitement. So there is a lot of money, just that you have to get your model right. Again, when I finish, you guys can ask me whatever questions that comes to your mind. How does one create a food business into a big food chain? You can ask me whatever questions that come to your mind. So I will just continue with whatever I am talking. So the trend in India is QSRs. What is QSR? QSR is basically a quick service restaurant. Now in today's world, we are very busy. We don't have time for most things. So QSR by name is quick service restaurant, right? And quick service restaurants are doing very well in India. So that is one place where you can look at if you all are looking at some business opportunity. And quick service restaurants by name, they serve quick food. And because quick service restaurants are generally in a 100, 200, 300, 400 square feet model, they have low overheads. Unka rent kam hota hai, the number of people that are working there is less, the electricity bill is less. That's why they can afford to sell it cheaper than a proper fine dine restaurant. So in today's busy lifestyle, QSR serves you quick food and it serves you food which is more economical because they have less overheads, right? So QSR is booming, the organized sector is booming, and then what can we learn from foreign Western brands? We see McDonald's, we see Subways, we see Starbucks. So many of them are coming here, and you all see, they're doing well. They're doing pretty well. So what are the things that they're doing right for that to happen, right? Have you all ever thought? Start thinking, you all have to start thinking. Seeing the success stories of people around you, you all have to start thinking. If you all want to be successful, you cannot just sit and on your own experience and then do. No, you have to try and see what can I learn, what's happening around you, right? You might be a student now, you might be far away from that, but still you have to start taking in the information. So you have to take in why is this particular thing doing well and why is this particular thing not doing well, right? So start doing that in your life, When even if you go to a tapuri, you see why are there so many people? Is it the price point? The price sasta hai, iske liye idhar public aa rahi hai? Is it the quality? Is it the good location? Because the location aisa hai ki public udhar they don't have a choice, कि वो location इतना अच्छा है, people end up having there, or whatever the reason might be, or is it the good customer service, or is it because the way the people talk there, is it hygiene, whatever it may be. I want you guys to start observing any food business that you visit or any other business that you visit and try to see okay, what is it that I can learn from here, right? Now talking about what are the Western brands doing right, Obviously, not all Western brands are successful. It's never going to be, but still there are quite a few that are. So, what are the top few things that we can learn, and what gives them the advantage for now against Indian companies? Is that one is they are coming from a market which is very mature. By mature, I mean that India में franchising start हुआ है 7-8 साल से हम सुन रहे हैं franchising. McDonald's started giving franchise in 1950s. Yeah, I mean, most of us were not even born that time. So they have been doing this business for so long, and कोई भी चीज़ आप जब ज़्यादा time के लिए करते हो आपको experience आ जाता है उसमें, right? So one is experience that they bring in. So a McDonald's, Subway, Domino's, all these people, Starbucks, they come from a market which is very mature, and whatever problems that any business faces, they have ironed out their problems in their market before they come to India, right? Secondly, they come from a market where, let's say मुझे अभी milkshakes बनाने हैं, right? And milkshake आदमी कैसे बनाता है? दूध डालता है, जो भी fruit डाला, chocolate डाला, mixer में mix किया, and you serve it, right? Now the thing is that, again, that is fine. That's how we started as well. Then it comes to a point where there are 100 people waiting outside. कितने mixer बनाओगे, right? How many? It is not going to. You cannot cope with it. So you have to get into machineries. So if I have to make a machine with button दबाया, chocolate shake आ गया, button दबाया, strawberry shake आ गया. Have you all been to McDonald's?
Yes, sir.
Do you all see when they serve you a strawberry?
Yes, sir.
Just press a button and it comes out. So what is that doing? That is giving consistency and high speed service. How does McDonald's serve you a burger in just under a minute? It is a lot to do with the machineries that they have. So their country in industrialization is way ahead of us. मैं इधर machine ढूंढने जाऊँगा तो कुछ भी नहीं मिलेगा, right? It is we are way off. मिलेगी भी तो ऐसी मिलेगी कि 4 शेक के बाद 5 बार बंद हो जाएगी. I'm not trying to put down my country here, but it's a fact that we are just not there as yet. I hope that you guys can come up with some nice industries which will help future food entrepreneurs like myself. So when those brands come here, they bring those machineries with them, which Indian brands are finding it difficult to get. Even if we get, the price is so high we can't even afford it. And so that is the second thing, the industrialization in their country, what they have. Third thing is that the marketing. I mean, आप में से कितने लोगों ने Starbucks का पेपर ऐड देखा है? किसने भी नहीं देखा. But everybody knows Starbucks. How? How do you all know Starbucks? पहले दिन पे जब खुला तो लंबी की लंबी क्यूज लग जाती हैं. Why? Have you ever thought about it? Start thinking. So how is that happening? अभी डंकिन डोनट्स खुला था बॉम्बे में, I think few months back. There was a queue for 3 hours, I heard. Why? Because what they have done is, before they go to a market, right? People already know the brand, right? So your brand should reach even before you reach, right? So if Cafe Chocolate, let's say when a Cafe Chocolate opened in Nagpur, luckily, a lot of students from Nagpur come to study here, and they go back. So when Cafe Chocolate opened there, already people knew us. From day one we opened the shutter, there was a big queue of people. So your brand reaches before you reach, and that is what happens with these Western countries. You already know about the brand even if you have never tried the product. And the other advantage that they have is that the British people, they ruled us so much कि वो अपने दिमाग से जा ही नहीं रहा है. अपने को लगता है everything that is white and western is good. It's stuck into our head, right? तो हमें लगता है यार ये अमेरिका का is better than India. It's a fact, right? It's a fact, whether you admit it or not. But made in America रहेगा ना, it's better. Made in Italy रहेगा तो better. Made in Spain रहेगा तो better, right? So again, that is the advantage I feel they have. When they come here, they come up with all these advantages. But the biggest thing that you can learn from them, right, which we shouldn't be ashamed of, is that have a long-term thinking and be ethical. Now, how do sometimes now it becomes difficult. What do you mean by being ethical in business, and how can it help me? So, for example, if you are into manufacturing of this stuff, right? So, I will give you a basic mindset how a Western company would think and how an Indian company would think. We would think कि मेरे को इतने बनाना है और इतने में बेचना है. Everybody thinks that. Yeah, that is very important. You know that it should be economically viable. Now the thing is, what we think is, यार ये 200 से ज़्यादा महंगा में नहीं जाना चाहिए क्योंकि अगर मुझे 400 में बेचना है तो ठीक है 400 के ऊपर कोई लेगा नहीं. We think when we do business यार इतने में बिकेगा नहीं, right? So what we first think is we set the target कि ये बेचना कितने में, rather than trying to make an excellent product and then have your markup and trying to sell it. We think the other way around. हम क्या बोलते हैं इसको 100 रुपए में बनाना है क्योंकि मेरे को मालूम है 200 में कोई खरीदेगा नहीं. That is wrong mindset. You make a quality product and there is market for it. You know, I am telling you, we buy Italian machineries at 10 times the cost of what Indian manufacturers give us. Why? Because of quality. So whenever you guys grow on to become whatever, now how does ethical part come into it? Is that you don't try to cheat with your product by putting an inferior wire in it. That is unethical. You might put a wire which just because it's cheap you are putting in there. आपको मालूम है ये 2 महीने में खराब हो जाएगी. Do you think I sell you something which is spoiled in 2 months is ethical? It's not. It's not ethical. So that is where, you know, being ethical and being, you know, don't be short-sighted. Be very, you know, think big. Nobody can make it big without thinking big. Think big, think ethical, and there is market for you. There is always going to be market for you. I mean, why do you think, do you guys think that all of you are going to, whatever you all do, are you all going to be equally successful or not? No. Everybody is going to be varying degree of success. Now, what is that difference? हमें क्या होता है when we are in school? मैं तो college में ज़्यादा पढ़ा नहीं तो you all guys can tell me more about college. स्कूल में क्या होता है, we are more worried about अरे यार मेरे बेस्ट फ्रेंड का है, मेरे बाजू वाले का प्रिपरेशन ज़्यादा हो गया एग्जाम्स का लगता है. We feel that, right? कि यार उसका ना 10 चैप्टर हो भी गए, मेरे तो अभी तक 8 ही हुए हैं, मेरे ये सब्जेक्ट नहीं हो गए, वो हो गए. So what is happening is we are worried about our competitor, right? That's what we are so worried about our competitor, rather than trying to just be yourself. Do you know? Give your 100%, right? Having the right attitude is very important. Some people are naturally more talented than others, right? But believe me, I would say I would rather be not naturally talented, right? I'd rather be hardworking. I'd rather have the right attitude towards work. I'll just give you a simple example here. If somebody is talented, right? Talented people find things easy to do. That is what talent is, right? So one kid, 2 kids, both of them started playing cricket at the same time. You know, one kid is able to bat better than the other kid, right? That is talent, right? Now what happens is if the right attitude is not there in place, you know, and right work ethic is not there in place, a talented person generally tastes success very easily, right? वो 5th में भी फर्स्ट आ गया, 8th में भी फर्स्ट आ गया, 10th में भी फर्स्ट आ गया, 12th में भी did well, कॉलेज में भी आया. But what happens is if the hard work and attitude is not there. See, can Tendulkar score a century every time he goes on to bat? No, right? That doesn't mean he's not talented. So even a talented person is going to come across failure. But if the attitude and work ethic is not right, that talented person might just disappear from the scene, might just become irrelevant in the society. Why? Because a person with limited talent has faced setbacks in some part of the life, and if the attitude and work ethic is right, he'll fight back. So people say Vinod Kambli was as talented as Sachin Tendulkar. Have you guys heard that?
Yes.
Right? So what was the difference? They were equally talented. The difference was the work ethic and the attitude towards work. So it was not that कि सचिन तेंदुलकर पैदा हुआ और उसके नर्स ने उसकी माँ को बोला ये लो 100 centuries. Right? It did not happen that way. Or Bill Gates पैदा हुआ take this $10 billion. It was not that they were born to achieve that. No, nobody is born to achieve, whatever. It is the attitude and the work ethic that you guys are going to bring in your career going ahead that is going to fetch you. Again, I believe there is no such thing as 120%. It's only 100%. So, somebody gave an example once. Can you fill more than 1 liter in a 1 liter Pepsi bottle? Can you do that? You cannot do that. So, you give your best, and if you go to sleep every night thinking that I gave my best today, that's good enough. And it might happen, still the other person might be better than you. That's fine. We are not here to be the best in the world, right? And I feel ऐसा तो नहीं कि एक ही जॉब है पूरे इंडिया में that you all are vying for, या एक ही business है जो all are vying for. It's okay if the other person is better than you. Doesn't matter as long as you have tried and you have given your best. So being ethical, having the right attitude is the way to go. And one more thing I would draw from my own experience is that we have also, I am not the most perfect businessman or perfect human being. Even I have done my mistakes, and that is what I am telling you guys. Wherever we try to take shortcuts, we faced failure, and wherever we said, "यार मेरे को इसमें से इतना पैसा कमाना है," we would fail. So it is about trying to see, making money is very important, I always say that. But at the same time, don't think about money. Think about making your career. And once you have made a career, money will follow. So first of all, don't be over competitive. Okay, दूसरा बंदा मेरे से better हो रहा है and all that doesn't matter. You give your best, that's good enough. There is enough for everybody out there in the market. And when you get out of this institute, you all would have had your degrees and everything. Again, I would say that, somebody might get a job in a bank, somebody might work at Cafe Chocolade, I hope so, and so on and so on. Remember one thing that, is that your mind is what is going to make you big, nothing else. It's what you think, what you can become is what you can become. So keep an open mind. I never thought from cleaning toilets, I could make it so big. I never thought. But I knew one thing, when I found myself crying in my house in UK, that I'm going to do something about it. Right? So, that's the attitude that you guys going to have about it. So I would just like, if you all have any questions, please ask me, because when I was in college or school, I did not like too many lectures from people. So I don't want to bore you guys anymore. So please go ahead and ask me if there's anything that you'll want to know about business, about any business, or whatever that comes to your mind. Feel free.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Ankit from Nagpur. So I have a question. Why the change of name from Cadbury to Chocolade, Cafe Chocolade?
Right.
When Cadbury was much more catchy.
Right. Now the thing is that things in life don't always go. Life is never like this. It's always up and down. Right. You will face challenges. As I said in my previous example, you don't need to be super talented actually, because super talented person, if he's faced with a problem, he might not have faced earlier, he might fail. So I was not super talented. So we faced this problem. Cadbury UK, when we were doing superbly well with Cadbury, they filed a suit against us, wherein because Cadbury sounds similar to Cadbury, we had to change the name. So that was the reason. But again, we did not feel, obviously we feel disappointed, but we fought on, and we are growing faster than what we were growing even at that time. So that's your answer. I guess you guys got the Cadbury है ना जो company UK में, they filed a suit against us because the name sounds similar, so we had to drop the name. We had to change the name. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Akash Sirsagar. I'm from Kolhapur. My question to you is that if I want a franchise of Cafe Chocolate, what are the resources I am having with me?
What resources that you need? Right. Where do you want a franchisee? Where do you want a franchisee?
It's a guarantee.
Okay. Let me not answer it here, because it shouldn't come across that I've come here to sell my franchisees, you know. As I said, you need the hunger to succeed. That's the biggest thing that you need. The other things I feel will fall in place. So if you have the hunger to succeed, there is getting franchisee of Cafe Chocolate is not very difficult. So maybe you can ask me in person. I'll put you to the right person. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Come on, anything else, guys? Right.
Good afternoon, sir. So my name is Sajal Kumar Singh. Sir, I want to know that how you manage quality control in all your outlets.
Right. That's a good question. So one is that we have. So when you grow, let's say. So I will give you a detailed answer to this. So when we were trying to grow Cafe Chocolate from 1 outlet to 2 to 3. So just like a gentleman who wanted franchise in Ichal Karanji, we would have people coming from across India. मेरे को चेन्नई में दे दो, मेरे को कलकत्ता में दे दो, मेरे को whatever, you know, X, Y, Z. Now the thing is that, again, we were inexperienced at that time, you know. I mean, I was, I think, 26 even at that time. So that's not a, you know, one thing is for sure, experience comes with age, you know. So, answering his question, तो हमने क्या किया ना, जिधर किधर franchisee, wherever people came from, ले लो franchisee, give the money, ले लो franchisee, you know, because you are not so smart to understand what could be the repercussions. So what happens is, let's say I have a franchisee. So it happened that I have one franchisee in Calcutta, one franchisee in Bombay, one in Chennai. Now, how do you maintain quality? Other than the things that I spoke about, having automation process in place, right? So let's say if I have a machine, okay, if you press a button and the shake comes out, the chances of it going wrong are less, right? Other than all those things that need to be done, and that's a process we try to get better at every day. Other than that, we need to put area managers in place. So area managers, they are our eyes and ears. So now imagine this. Now what is wrong in giving one franchise in Calcutta, one in Chennai, and one in, what is wrong in it, right? Because no harm in making money in business. What is wrong here is that, do you think I can afford an area manager for one outlet, paying a salary of maybe 50,000 a month? It's not. But do you think it's affordable for me to pay a salary if there are 15 outlets? Yes, right? So the principle in growing is, you grow in clusters. So first, let's say when we grow in Pune, you know, so you try to open as many as possible in Pune. Then you go to the nearest city. Then you try to open as many as possible over there. And then so on and so on. Because even if I open one in Nasik, now you will say कि एक time पे थोड़ी 10 outlet खोलेंगे. That doesn't mean मैं area manager नहीं रखूँगा. But the thing is that if I have an outlet in Nasik and I have 10 outlets in Pune, my area manager from Pune can go and check Nasik also. But can my area manager go 5 times a month to Calcutta? It will cost so much that it's not going to be economically viable. So that is one thing. We are trying to automize as much as possible, and secondly, we are trying to open in clusters. So ऐसा नहीं है कि इधर खोला एक उधर खोला एक उधर खोला. We are trying to open outlets close to each other, so wherein we can provide the right service which makes economical sense. That is your answer. Yeah, ladies first. Sorry.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, this is Palak Nikam from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. Sir, as you told while telling your experience that in your earlier stage you were well off, then you went to abroad for your studies,
Right.
okay with your life. then a sudden change come up, you go with the negations, then went in a drug,
Right.
and then again come up with all the positivity.
Right.
So sir, how do you manage with the two extremes, so negation, you even went up through toilet cleaning in so extreme negations, and then now you are presently an entrepreneur, so extreme positive, how you tune up with both the extreme ends?
As I said, nobody can prepare कि भाई अभी मैं आपको कोई फार्मूला बताऊंगा और आप प्रिपेयर हो जाओगे, right? But except one thing in life, life doesn't go like this. No matter, you guys might be looking at me and thinking, he's so successful and happy, right? You feel that. I'm sure if I was there, I would feel that. But believe me, life is not about me being here or there. Every person, no matter who he is, whether it is as successful as Mr. Jai Singh, or whether it is me, or whether it is you or anybody, you have your problems in life. Every one of us, we have our problems in life, and that is one constant of life, that you are going to face challenges. As I said, the only way to come out of it is accepting it. Be ready that you're going to face, just like there is night, there is day. And so I'll give you a very small example here. Once I was in UK, I'm very bad with the roads, मेरे को कोई रोड याद ही नहीं पड़ता है. पुणे के भी अभी याद पड़े 25 साल के बाद. तो I was lost. मैं imagine from Pune city में expressway पे पहुंच गया. मुझे जाना था MG road में expressway पे पहुंच गया. And I was like, अरे यार मैं किधर आ गया? And I'm so bad with the roads that I get even more worried. But I remember telling myself, no matter what happens, eventually तो मैं घर पहुंच ही जाऊंगा ना. 1 घंटा नहीं, 4 घंटा नहीं, 8 घंटा नहीं. Eventually तो घर पहुंच ही जाऊंगा ना. तो क्या होगा उससे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, right? So after 3 hours of going around, I eventually reached my house. So that is whatever happens, just accept it and have the right spirit to fight it.
But sir, it takes some time that.
So it takes. मैंने किधर बोला कि एक दिन में टॉयलेट साफ किया, दूसरे दिन इधर आ गया. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years, right? But the thing is that if I was happy doing what I was doing, see, you should be happy doing whatever you're doing, but you should have ambitions, right? If I was happy, you see on our signals and other places, there are a lot of beggars, if you're happy just doing that all your life, it's not going to change. The sun is not going to shine on you, right? So you need to, first of all, have ambition. No, I'm not going to, a lot of poor, unfortunate kids are born in that atmosphere, right? Right from young age, they grow to be doing that. So they come from very tough this. But the thing is, even they can be, if they have the right ambition, right? At the same time, why do you think it's important to come here and study? Anybody? Why do you think education is important?
Sir, to develop ourselves, so basic needs for development and moving ahead.
Right, it gives you power, right? Once you have power, you can do anything, right? So you are the lucky ones who are getting to get education from such a fine institute. I feel education is power. When you have that power, and just like you never forget, when did you last ride your bike? Bike कब चला था? Cycle.
Many years ago.
आती है ना बाइक चलाने?
Yes.
अभी मैं बाइक दूंगा, चला सकोगे ना?
Sure.
कितने साल हो गए?
10-15.
Even if I give him the bicycle now, he'll be able to ride it as well as he was able to. Just like that, education is that way. Once you have that, nobody can take it away from you. So you don't realize it is the power that you are getting from education. So when you are in your bad times, it is this power that will take you, will help you face your challenges. Other than obviously the right attitude. So that's what it is. There is no magic formula to it. Yeah, please.
Sir, my name is Mrityunjay Mishra and I am from Gorakhpur, UP, sir. Sir, as you told that you make transportation of your products from one place to another by the carriage of railways and the roadways. Sir, how do you perform the quality and the freshness of the product as it takes to transport the product from one place to another? How do you, sir, maintain the quality and the freshness of the product as
Right.
it is over there?
Right. So the thing is that when I say transport, abhi we are into milkshakes, ice creams. So this is cold product. तो मैं आइसक्रीम नॉर्मल बस वाले के हाथ में दे दूंगा भाई जाके उधर दे दे तो obviously it's not going to work. So the packing that we do ना, there is something called dry ice, right? आपके घर में ice होती है. So when you put ice out, what happens? It turns into water, right? So this dry ice, it does not turn into water, it turns into air, because that is what is formed from it, not formed from H2O. So this dry ice has temperature of, आपका जो घर का फ्रिज होता है उसका टेम्परेचर होता है +4 degrees, right? +4 degrees. आपका जो फ्रीजर देखते हो ना आप आइसक्रीम फ्रीजर्स पार्लर्स, दैट इज एट -20 degrees. दिस ड्राई आइस, इसका कोर टेम्परेचर होता है -70 degrees, right? So when you take thermocol box, which is it's an insulate, it has insulation properties, and then when you add dry ice to it, you put your product and you seal it, the temperature inside is -70 degrees, and any food frozen beyond -20 degrees does not spoil. तो आप फ्रोजन फूड देखा है आपने कुछ? ग्रीन पीस इंडिया में जनरली होता है, वो आप 6 महीना भी रख दो खाते हो, इट्स नॉट स्पॉइल बिकॉज ऑफ रेफ्रिजरेशन. सो इवन जस्ट फिश, सी फिश को आइस पे रखते हैं फॉर द सेम रीजन, बिकॉज व्हेन यू फ्रीज एनी product that can spoil, it does not spoil if you freeze it. So that's how we do it. Yeah.
Sir, where you got the information when the fast food freeze below the 20 degree, it's not spoil? Where you got the information?
Again, now the thing is that even in today's world it's so easy, you know, you go on the internet. I mean, Google is the biggest teacher that you have. So, और दूसरी चीज क्या होती है ना कि how long it's been since you is this your first day? First year है ना अभी? तो अभी after 2 years, do you think you are going to have more knowledge about business than what you have today?
Yes.
You will, right? कैसे? क्यों?
Because all the days we are learning.
That's what you're doing, right? That's what I was doing all day. So automatically, you know, the knowledge level increases. You meet people from your industry, you go for shows, you know, you learn from your competitors, you go on the internet, you know, then you have consultants out there. So let's say tomorrow if you decide to put up an ice cream, I'll give you a good tip. Tomorrow if you want to put up an ice cream factory, right? You go on Google, just put in ice cream consultants, right? Obviously you will have to put in the money. You tell the consultant मेरे को इतना ice cream industry set up करके दो, he will set it up for you completely. You don't need all the knowledge to set it up. So tomorrow any business that you want to do, there are consultants in the field, right? So just when Mr. Jai Singh must have decided to open this college, right? I'm sure he must have had some consultants to advise him on that. Or tomorrow you might be one of the consultants, how to run business, right? So people might call you. So again, you know, I mean, you learn from the environment that you live in. So that's how I got to know कि -20 में ये होता है, -40 में ये होता है and all that. Because I was not a scientist. Like somebody from here, I think had a question. No? Was it? Yes. That's it? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Ameet Pahilani from Ghana. I just wanted to ask you one basic question regarding your life. Is there any dream of your life that you wanted to complete or people in your future?
Dream of my life. Obviously, I would love to have a Bentley driving. Not that. It's just that the dream is that just like we Indians feel proud about, not proud, we look up to McDonald's or Subway, and I would say, you know, we want to be a brand which can go to foreign countries and where people can look up to us, you know, which will make our nation proud. I think that would be one thing out, because after a certain point it's not money, you know. After a certain point it's not money. After a certain point it's the brand, it's the recognition, you know. Wherever you go, people should know your brand. You know, that is what the dream is. That every child in India should know about Cafe Chocolate, and other countries. You know, we want to be successful so that, you know, people can look up to Indian brand as well. You know, that is how I would sum it up. That dream. Thank you. That's it. All right. I think we call it a day. Right? Thank you. Thank you for calling me.
When the going gets tough, the tough gets going as well. Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. They are still with us as the desire to succeed, to want more, and to create more. Thank you once again. There are a few hours of life more agreeable than the hour dedicated to the ceremony known as afternoon tea. Let us now part for tea break. Thank you.